Welcome back to Ash's Reality Recaps. Husbands helping husbands on Farmer Wants a Wife. Alright guys, here's how we're going to do today. We're going to go through each one of the farmers and we're going to talk about how their experience has been between episode 1 and what happened in episode 2. Let's jump into this. Alright, so let's jump into Ty. Ty is our 42-year-old divorced farmer. Ty has a 12-year-old daughter. He opts to take Melody home out of his top 5 so that Melody gets 24 hours of time with him before the rest of the women show up at the farm. Ty takes Melody out on a horse ride. They have a nice little picnic under the tree where they get to know each other a little bit. It's pretty good first 24 hours for the two of them. And while out on that little date under the tree, Ty uses his hat to cover their first kiss. Pretty romantic that he kind of covers it up from the cameras. To me, it just kind of shows that he's got a bit of a gentleman. He's not there for the cameras. He's not there to show off. He's trying to show some respect to Melody and to himself, honestly. So that was pretty nice to see Ty use the hat to cover it up. I'm sure production wasn't happy with it, but hey, it's real. For Ty's first group event, he takes the ladies out to his horse stable to shovel some manure. Now look, this is an everyday activity on the farm, so again, these guys want to make sure that whoever they choose is comfortable with what they do inside of these stables, on these farms, with whatever their events are. They want to make sure that these ladies blend in. So this is a pretty good first day event. You really want to see, like, how are you going to do coming from the city onto this farm experience. So this was Ty's event. They actually did a pretty good job. The ladies actually got into a poop throwing fight with Ty. That was kind of entertaining, and then they got along and shoveled some horse poop. You did see some interactions where some of the ladies kind of pulled back, but hey, who wouldn't? That's just how it happens. Not everybody's comfortable shoveling, working, handling poop. So that was Ty's first group event. At the end of day 1, host Jennifer Nettles sends a letter to each one of the guys. That note basically says, hey guys, if there's anyone in your group that you're not feeling a connection with, now's the time to pull them aside and have that conversation. Just take their feelings into consideration when you do it. Well, at the end of day 1, Ty goes ahead and pulls Aaron aside. They have the conversation. He's not feeling a connection with Aaron, so he goes ahead and sends Aaron home. That leaves Ty with 4 ladies at this point. Next up, we have Mitchell. Mitchell is a 27-year-old first-generation farmer. We don't know the size of his farm or what he farms. He opts to take Kiana home for the first 24-hour date that he has with her. On their date, Mitchell opts to take Kiana out on a boat ride, ending in a picnic inside of that boat on the shore. They get a really nice scene of the sunset, but again, Kiana and Mitchell seem to have a pretty good first 24 hours together before the rest of the ladies show up on the farm. Again, we don't really know what Mitchell's farm size is or his background or really anything that goes on in his farm. So his first group event with the ladies is to make some raised garden beds. At the end of the day, Mitchell gets the same letter that the rest of the gentlemen get from Jennifer, and he has to decide if he wants to send somebody home. He thinks about it for a few minutes, and he goes ahead and opts to keep all the ladies, because in his opinion, 24 hours just isn't enough time to get to know anybody on any kind of level. So he wants to give it another day and see how his connections grow from there. So pretty good decision on his end to go ahead and keep all 5 of the ladies there, and we'll move into our next gentleman. Next we have Brandon and his 1,000 acres. Brandon is 29 years old, and he farms potatoes and barley. Now, Brandon goes ahead and opts to take Reba on their first 24-hour date or alone time together. And let me just say that of all of the ladies so far, Reba is the one with the most red flags. Now, initially, she seems like a pretty good girl, but something happens when all the other ladies get there, and we'll get to that in a minute. But just know that Reba was the first one to go home with Brandon for that 24-hour stay, and this is what they did on their date. For the most part, their date consisted of just a dinner date in one of his outbuildings. Set up a really nice little candlelight dinner with her. They had some conversations about family and their history and kind of what they have together. Now, let's get into the good part of where these individuals will be going. So for Brandon's first group event, he takes them out to sort potatoes and kind of teaches them the difference between a good potato and a bad potato. He does explain to them that the bad potatoes can still be used for cooking and whatnot around the farm or anything like that, but they do not put them into the bags because they're not sellable. So don't think that Brandon's throwing away the potatoes that they're sorting out. They are getting used. They're just not going for sale. Now, in this picture here, you'll see over on the side, we have Reba. And diagonal from Reba over here with the hat on is Joy. Now, something happens between the two of these that they don't really show on camera, but Reba has it in for Joy. At the end of the episode, Jennifer sends Brandon the letter as well. Reba pulls Brandon aside and basically throws Joy under the bus. Basically says she's up his butt. If she was any further up his butt, she'd climb out his mouth. She's really angling to get Brandon to send Joy home. Thankfully, Brandon does not listen to Joy, and he goes ahead and keeps all 5 of the ladies. You could see the frustration and the anger on Reba's face that he didn't send Joy home. So we're expecting some drama to come out of this in the next couple episodes, but we'll see how that goes. Obviously, they don't. Obviously, Reba doesn't like Joy. I don't even know if Joy knows that this is going on, but Reba does not like Joy. So let's move on to our last farmer. And our last farmer is 23-year-old Nathan. Nathan has a 300-acre farm with an additional 500-acre cattle property. Nathan chose Mackenzie to go home with him for his first 24 hours. Unfortunately, leading into that first night, Mackenzie had a family emergency and had to back out of production. Nathan ended up going home by himself and having that first day alone, waiting for the other ladies to arrive. We hope everything is okay with Mackenzie's family, and we hope Mackenzie can come back to production before the season ends. Let's see how Nathan's day went when all the ladies showed up. Well, Nathan takes his 4 remaining ladies out into the orchard to do some weed killing. After suiting them up with all the proper gear, they get to walk around and spray some of the weed killer around the trees. He does explain to them not to spray the weed killer on the trees, only to spray it on the weeds around the trees. They seem to do pretty good with this task, and during this point in time, Nathan pulls one of the ladies aside and asks her to have a one-on-one date with him. So here we have Allie. Nathan asked Allie out on a one-on-one date for this evening. We assumed that Nathan got to ask Allie out on this date because Nathan did not have that first 24-hour date with Mackenzie. So this gave him some time to kind of have that one-on-one experience and really just see where his head was and how this experience was going to occur for him. After receiving Jennifer's letter of being able to send one of the ladies home, Nathan realizes he's already down to 4 ladies, so he also decides to keep all 4 of his ladies. So the only farmer that sent somebody home at the end of episode 2 was Ty. Thanks for joining us, Husbands Helping Husbands. Hopefully, guys, this helps you understand what the hell your women are talking about as they watch these crazy-ass reality shows. Peace out. Have a good one.